And we're live on the Bright Business Talk Show. Welcome to today's episode where we talk about purpose driven conversations of business and life. And today I've got the distinct and pleasurable honor of speaking with Beverly Rubio. And Beverly is an expert in AI and marketing and business strategy. She teaches at the university level here at University of Redlands. And I'm really looking forward to an exciting conversation with her. And then we have a special treat after Beverly's told her story for a bit. We're going to dive into a case study that she's working on with one of our Bright Business Club members who was on our show a week or two ago, Joseph Choi. And Joseph's going to share with us some of his challenges, and Beverly is helping him to work through that using her expertise in business strategy and AI. And we'll get kind of an inside look at that today. And so I'm really excited. And then maybe if we're lucky, we'll get Mr. Florin Dumay in, the founder of Bright Business Club and the system and the author of the book, and have him kind of fill us in on what's next and what's coming. So I'm very excited for all that. And I forgot to hit go live on Instagram. So now we're live on Instagram, and I've got we're live here, so things happen. But I'm really excited again to have Beverly on the show. And today's episode is brought to you by the Bright Business Club, the Bright Business Project at brightbusiness.com. And let me bring up that, uh, let's see, bring up that banner where you can go and check out what's going on. Hang on one second. There we go. So I'm going to show that at business.com. You can head there after the show, after we're done today, and check out what's going on with the Bright Business Project. And thank you again for allowing us to be on the air and presenting some great leaders and great topics for your purpose driven lives. And so, with that, I'd like to bring up Beverly. So, let's see if I can get this done. There she is. Hi, Beverly.
Hi, Jim.
How are you today?
I am good. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, you've got a busy life. You are like teaching at the university level, and you've got critters and dogs, and you've got uh, AI consulting work that you're doing, and just keeping everything moving along here. And you're still smiling.
Life is really good. I'm very fortunate and blessed. I have strong family, and as you said, my critters. I have a full social life, and yeah, it's all great.
That's excellent. So let's see. You have an experience teaching at the university level.
Yes.
You've been doing that for a while. You're an adjunct professor at
Um,
University of Redlands. Tell us about that. What is that experience like?
I one of the things I love is sharing my knowledge and helping students in particular get that aha moment, when
Mm,
the light goes on. And it's so wonderful to be able to facilitate that. And so it's often like we are here, particularly literally, I was teaching a class and the pandemic hit. So everything went online. And fortunately, I'm familiar and very comfortable in that environment.
mm,
So it really became really more about stories. Yes, the text was important and all of that, and principles, but really to drive it home, it would be the commentary that we would have, the insights that we would gain using the principles that we were learning. And then for some of my classes, the grad level ones, the MBA students, one course in particular, global marketing, which is near and dear to my heart, it was practically, a thesis. And so really helping them identify a country, what its challenges are, what it would be to bring, to import uh, materials, sources, et cetera, resources into a country. And I had them choose one that is not normally like necessarily Western Europe, so areas that are maybe unfamiliar. And what are those challenges? Like, of course, here in the US, our infrastructure is a given. We're fortunate that way, but that's not the case in many other countries.
Mm.
So that's where I see a lot of that growth. The whole satellite network and all of that is extraordinarily important. And so, really,
A satellite network, what does that mean?
I'm thinking of all of the satellites that we have to satellite communication, and of course, not that Elon Musk is necessarily involved with this particularly, but just it enhances the space communication that we have. That will become even more so. So
Mm.
I'm really, I'm really curious to see where that's going to go, and so yeah, and I know that Elon Musk has been talking a lot about it. So I don't keep super tabs on it, but I keep my eye on it.
So you studied extensively in which now like a big buzzword, generative AI. Seems like in the last 2 years, if you don't know if you haven't at least heard the term generative AI, you've been living under a rock. But,
Jim,
but
that
you know something about it, and I think everybody's curious to know more. So
I do. And let me share with you, those of us in the field, we assume that everybody knows about it. But in casual conversations, even with my very um, learned friends, most people don't. They don't really know the difference between even AI and generative AI. So, generative AI is language based. And the reason why all of this blew up is because OpenAI, which is a platform, really, uh,
that's
really
what ChatGPT is, right?
correct.
OpenAI runs ChatGPT.
Right. So think of OpenAI as a platform like Mac or Windows. And so one can build applications on top of it. So OpenAI really opened widely, shall we say, back in like 2022-ish. And then ChatGPT, which had a lot of input from folks like Microsoft, was the first really language-based AI, and so what that means is that we can do our descriptions, ask our questions with regular language. And that just blew up. It just opened up a whole um, category that did not exist.
So
And
what was it that created that? The off of OpenAI, what was it that Microsoft helped with to make ChatGPT happen?
well, they had a real hand in funding as they do now. In fact, OpenAI, I believe, just finished its second round of funding. I think it's one of the biggest. I can't remember the
It
number
was
right.
2 billion. They
Thank
just
you. Thank
yeah.
you. So really, it was just because ChatGPT had the likes of Reid Hoffman, who was one of the initial investors in things like Facebook and LinkedIn. So they had the likes of him, Microsoft, all of these other entities. Interestingly, I don't believe Google was involved initially. Um, they created this platform of ChatGPT, and then a few months after that, I started seeing in my own feed and information stuff popping up about, oh, you can create content in a matter of minutes, meaning social media content, email content, all of that stuff, even video now, within a matter of minutes. In fact, there are so many different AI programs. There are several actually that I want to share with Bright Business and that I'm using myself.
Mhm.
And so what is happening is that so much of this content that used to take us days and hours and months can now be done in less than a week, which is revolutionary. And so that's why when it really opened up to language, using common everyday language, that is generative AI, and that is the likes of ChatGPT that rests on the OpenAI platform. So
Okay.
yeah.
So is that your field of energy? Is that where you're spending most of your time?
Yes,
Is
that
more about that?
yes, it really has to do with, and as I said, as I've taken a deeper dive into AI, what I'm realizing is that It's going to be our stories. It's as old as the caveman with campfires. It's in order for us not to be blah and boring, which is what AI can generate, because think about it, we have all of the internet knowledge available to us 24/7, and it's constantly growing. At this point, AI's IQ is something like 157, which is the IQ of some of the smartest people in the world. So it's just going to keep going. But what happens is if that information becomes sort of gathered together, if we don't bring our knowledge, our what I call our cultural lexicon. And what I mean by that is all of our life experience, all of our educational experience. And by the way, also for the future, just to let everybody know, one doesn't necessarily have to have a college degree. I have lots of friends who are far more literate than me in many fields. But what what the marketing engine, particularly of digital marketing, the social content, our emails, et cetera, our customer journey, really will need to be shaped and customized by our voice. And when I realized that, because I'm very familiar and I work in the what I call the digital marketing engine, but the oil that makes the engine go, that I think is where the gems are. And that is what I focus on. And I use AI tools for myself. And let me explain something too, very quickly. So, in order to use tools, generative AI tools, uh, wisely, is that there's something called a prompt, which is essentially asking ChatGPT or AI a question, but it's all in the wording. Like my lawyer friends are all excited because it's like, oh wow, it's all about how you ask the question. And what's really great is it doesn't stop at one question. So let's say, for example, as I was telling you earlier, I did not like my bio. It was very impersonal. I didn't like it. So I threw it into ChatGPT with the instruction, please make this more personalized and in a more approachable tone. So G, ChatGPT took my bio, coughed up something that I liked, but it didn't include the piece about, like we were talking about earlier. I'm a Andy Warhol fan, and I've always been struck by his prophetic statement: in the future, everybody will be world famous for 15 minutes. So I said, go ahead and add that. And why that was important to me is, to me, it demonstrates to my audience, oh, this is how this girl thinks. Oh, this is how she looks at the world. And that's the kind of mindset, that's the kind of big picture connective thinking that I want, that will help me to solve my problem. So that's one of the things of how I look at it. And in my case study with Joseph, those are some of the things that we are working towards.
So you're taking the best of AI, the brilliance, 156 IQ and growing, um, but building in the human side and the emotional side of it
Yes,
to create something that's got more value actually
yes,
for an actual application because we're humans, right? How
exactly.
does that work? How do you have spent time also studying art and being an art connoisseur. So how does
Oh,
that fit into what you're doing with such a technical thing like, business analytics and AI?
well, thank you, Jim, for your kind words. First of all, I wish I was an art connoisseur. I just love art, and it speaks to me. Of
What is
course,
it
some
about
art,
art that you love? What is it that
because um,
pulls the heartstrings?
yeah, I am not an inherently, visuals are not my superpower. And I'll never forget, I'd seen a long time ago at LACMA, LA County Museum, an exhibit of all the artists that were reflecting what was going on in 30s Germany, the lead up to World War II. And
Hmm.
I could see it expressed in the art, the chaos, the fear, all of that. It's just, I never forgot it. Those images are so strong in my mind. And so I connected with that. And some artists or some schools of art, like abstract expressionism. I'm such a conceptual person, it's terrible. It's like I live in my mind a lot, so I have to anchor myself. But abstract expressionism, that school of art, I just connect with it. And Warhol, okay, Jim, honestly, I don't understand all of his art, but it intrigues me. And anything that intrigues me is worth pursuing. So
Yeah, well, that's what's kind of fun about AI for me too. Is I'm kind of digging into it, and it's the process. It's like it's exciting because you don't know, and you're at in a way, you're discovering new things, and you're getting small successes, and you're learning, and that's fun.
it is. It really is. And I just want to also share with everyone, don't let AI and the prospect of it overwhelm you. If there are little pieces that are going to be useful for you, you don't have to know the whole thing. You can pull out the pieces that work for you. I will say that AI is going to permeate every part of our lives and make it better. All of the processes. I'm seeing it particularly in the sciences. Based on what I've read, and this is strictly my own opinion, is I think we're going to be able to solve the mysteries of something like Alzheimer's. I think we're going to make huge strides in the mysteries of cancer. I just see huge potential in that. And really, AI is in its infancy in that we're just talking about language based AI. The next wave is going to be what I call AI proper, which is where it's more data based. And that's the important thing. And AI, like anything else, is good stuff in, good stuff off, out. Crappy stuff in, crappy stuff out.
Yeah, the old one's garbage in, garbage out, right?
Exactly,
So
exactly.
true.
To use a stronger word because
So that
that's how I
and
look at
it's
it.
all in the data. You were talking about the data. And I was kind of thinking that when we were talking about ChatGPT, that really the differentiator there is the creation of a data set that they had spent energy, money, resource to create that actually became ChatGPT. Um, and it's that it's like you have a three-legged. I've read that there's like a three-legged stool. You've got the software, and then you've got hardware, and then you've got data. And the data can be in either large language model pools, like big lakes of data, right? Or
Mhm.
you can have relational database data that a lot of people probably know a relational database. And they have them in their computer for a CRM is a relational database,
Yes.
names and dates and all kinds of things that you can pull up and search based on what you were looking for, and have the database provide reports for you specific to what your needs are. Um, so that's a so and AI can use those both of those kinds of data sets to find what it is it's looking for, but it does it in more of an intuitive way than a normal Google search would. And what
Yes.
are some of the keys to finding? You mentioned prompts earlier. What are some of the keys to accessing uh, AI's true power as a small business owner?
Okay, just for something for fun. So I popped in just an image that I liked of a mountain or something.
Hmm.
And I just said, create, so it's an attachment. So create an image from this attachment in the style of Andy Warhol. And so it did that. Or something that's even more fun is I've done things like
So
okay,
Andy Warhol's style. How would you describe his
it's
style?
it's very graphical and one can get much more detailed. It's graphical, it's very mass media oriented. We all know about the Camel soup cans, which, by the way, I still don't quite get that, but okay. Uh,
Well, I don't think anybody else does, but it's still sold for like $1 billion at one point. I think. I don't
it's
know.
crazy. And I have to admit, when I saw his art up close, in exhibits and museums and such, I'm going, oh, I get it. because the images, pictures don't do it justice. It's the vibrancy of the image and the creation of just the creation of it. It's really beautiful. So, but doing things like that, and you also pointed out this was great, Jim, because I just said in the Warhol style. So
Right.
if you
I just
really
pulled up
wanted,
some Warhol stuff. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
is can you see that?
Yes, I can, and it's okay. To me, this looks very. See that I think is a result of someone who just said in the Warhol style. So if I was an artist, or if I was somebody who was really into how Andy Warhol created art, I would get very specific.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, yeah, like the one in the middle, I think is really interesting. It's that one I think is very interesting. Might have actually been done perhaps by a more informed artist. The one on the right looks like the crimson one, sort of looks to me like one that Chat GPT or a similar program would come up with, because I that is what I, as an uninformed, as an average viewer's eye, would see.
Uh,
Whereas one in the middle, it's just more, I don't know how to put it, iterative. I mean, it's clearly that influence, but that person added so much detail and perhaps his or her own tweaks to really do that twist. And I think that's probably what I mean. So, yeah.
yeah. Well, that's cool. There's just so much creativity going on. But what's interesting to me at this point is that AI's they're asking AI to come up with creative things like that, and it's fun watching the progression of it.
It is. It really is. And, for whatever artist that one likes, like there's the classics, of course, you can't beat, Rembrandt, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, who, by the way, was also an incredible futurist because he conceived of the idea of a helicopter centuries before it came to be in 1930, in the 30s. So that's the kind of stuff that fascinates me.
Yeah. Well, you call yourself you've been called uh,
Futurist.
the casual futurist. Explain that.
Yes, I dubbed myself that because I love reading about the future and following futurists, and Peter Diamandis is one of my personal favorites. And so I think of myself, and I'm developing actually my own image. I think of myself as that surfer on the North Shore, those giant waves in Hawaii, who's just like,
Okay.
you know, managing to stay aloft, just managing the wave and managing to surf. And it's just about to come down on me, but I somehow managed to surf it without crashing, without wiping out. So, and that's how I think of the future and how much I love it, and to be able to, I derive so many insights that I like to share with other people, and insights that I like to use with my clients in helping them develop what I call the oil for their marketing and business engines. And I fell more into business strategy. I have a background in strategic planning. So there are elements of that, although I'm not like a super duper finance person, but I can read the numbers and I can find the story behind the numbers. So that's where I can help articulate that.
Yeah, and you love to travel too, right?
I do. I
Where
do.
have you been? What was the most recent trip you've taken?
So I was recently in Spain for my niece's wedding. And so we were in Madrid and Toledo, and those are two very beautiful, very old cities. And the thing that I most love about them is the street life, Jim. We can just be sitting, my sister and I have got a picture of myself. She and I are, there's a sign that says tapas, cafe or something. I don't remember, but just
Oh, I love the tapas, this little hors d'oeuvre. Yeah,
yeah, just a little hors d'oeuvres, Spanish style, and just sitting there and
tapas
watching.
and a little adult beverage.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't consume that much alcohol. I just don't. But I was drinking a big, you know, glass of sangria every single night and just sipping on it. And everything felt, I don't know how to put this, brighter and more alive because I was really able to tap into the energy that was like a river and renewing to me in those cities. And
Mm,
so that's why I think travel is so important because we can live in our little bubbles, and to get out of where we are and experience something different, even going to different parts of the country. I mean, I lived in California most of my life. I was in my 30s before I went to the Grand Canyon. I
mm.
mean, how stupid is that, Jim? It was just so,
Some people go their whole lives and never get there,
oh my
but
gosh.
and
So, these,
congratulations for going. It's great.
yeah, just these incredible things to do.
Too.
Mhm.
What is it about the street life that you liked? Tell me about that.
I liked seeing how different people are in the world. I loved
And
hearing
what you noticed in Spain and Madrid?
the different languages, and how Spanish, which I've heard all of my life, but I've lived in California, to hear it spoken differently with all the different accents.
Mm,
And the most different Spanish that I've heard is friends that I have from Cuba, which is very fast. And so to hear Spanish spoken in such a way, and it is, Spanish and French are Romance languages. So to hear it in the mother country, um, I think was a really both enlightening and enjoyable experience. And then the art, just being there, and um, the just they're a little bit, when people dress, they're a little bit more formal than we are here in California. And so it's like, ooh, okay. There was a cocktail party that I went to, and I went, okay, you better, you know, it's like, this is no place for my uh, Birkenstocks. Now you better get on those nice sandals that you bought, that you thought that you would only use a few times, but I got dressed up in all my finery and proper makeup and all that stuff. So I like that, but yet the lifestyle is casual, and the conversations are just, it's not that they're these big intellectual conversations, but just hearing about different things, and seeing that I was fortunate enough to attend a flamenco show. And so it's so clear in the art and culture to see all the different um, um, sources of things, because Arabia is just across the strait there. It's not very far away. So you just hear all the sounds and the music. And then, of course, I could only do the highlights because I wasn't there long enough of
mm.
the Prado. But, just to see those paintings, particularly Las Tres Meninas, which is Velázquez, just to be able to see them in the flesh is it's just great. And just the vibe of the people, they're relaxed
Mm.
in a
Yeah,
way.
it gives you. I remember my dad took me when I was a kid. We grew up. I grew up when I was really little in New York City, New York area, New Jersey, and my dad was a frustrated artist. He used to paint, and he took me one time to the New York um, museum, the big art museum there.
Mhm.
I remember sitting there with him on the little bench, looking at some of the famous paintings from the masters that are there, Renoir, and everybody was there, and just seeing the appreciation of that, and seeing the brushstrokes, and being able to get close enough to see all the little details of what they did. And then my dad taught me to stand back 30 feet, and that's how you look at these masters paintings, and you get the whole expression of it. But then when you get up really close, you see the genius of,
Whoa, isn't it?
of the little tiny little details they put in, that when you stand back and see it, it's like, oh my God, things just pop. And that's kind of like what AI is like. And you're helping people to see that, you understand the details and you can help them explore those details to create that better picture.
Oh, Jim, thank you so much. When you were talking about New York and the museums, what came to mind is Jackson Pollock.
Mm,
So Jackson Pollock has, this painter, it looks like he just threw a bunch of paint up onto a canvas.
right.
And then, like I said, so you look at it from afar and it's really cool. But then you go up close and you go, oh my gosh, that's how he did that. Whoa. So thank you for that analogy, because that is exactly right. That's what I want to help people to do, is to see where their part in this AI Jackson Pollock chaos is. And so honestly, I really, one of my things is I want to help people paint their masterpiece.
Okay. Love
Yeah.
that. That's great. I'd like to use that as a little segue. I'm thinking here to kind of switch gears, if you're okay with it. And I
Yeah.
wanted to bring Florin up for just a few minutes, and then maybe later on in the show. If Florin, if you're ready, I'd like to ask you about what's new in the Bright Business Project, and what do we have to look forward to this week?
Oh, nice. First of all, I was impressed, Beverly. I'm listening to you, and I don't know what show is this. It's like, I don't know if it's AI, is art. It's wow. But for sure it's like high caliber conversation. And you, Jim, you know how can I say, to elevate the conversations, right? So
Well, it's fun. Yeah, it's just like let's pull some thoughts into it.
yeah, thank you
Again.
so much. And now talking about the masterpiece, this is our I think this is our biggest mission here, to help entrepreneurs to build a masterpiece, and that's why we are so well connected in this project, because we all are bringing some value to helping each other to build our own masterpiece.
Mhm.
And but for this, you need to have a core element, which I call purpose. And right now, I'm in the process. I was listening to you, and I was trying to kind of put some thoughts together about purpose, drive, grit, and empathy, and how they are all connected to to have the drive, to have the north star, to go towards to something, to aim for something, not just navigate random. So the same thing with business. I think the business, like I keep saying, should be an instrument to manifest our purpose and to build our masterpiece called life. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to talk. Tomorrow is Tuesday, right? October 8th. And from 9 a.m., we'll talk about purpose in our business lab. So the entire month of October, we will cover the definition of purpose, of the meaning of purpose from different angles. But we're going to start tomorrow with the business lab. And after that, in Corona, Beverly, you, Joseph, and Brian probably will cover the purpose from your angle, your perspective. And in Irvine, you're going to be, will be even more, um, going to dive more into AI with our guest, Chun Lee. I hope you're gonna be there. I hope you both are gonna join us in Irvine. And then
Yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be a really fun conversation.
for me, I would like to
Love
see.
about this is that they're in person and they're live, and you get to meet people, and then you've got also that tremendous learning. I mean, we've got some amazing experts, and then there's business owners there too that bring in their own perspectives from having to do every
Yeah.
day growing their business, and being in that position is just so fun to watch people grow and blossom.
No, it's amazing, and I want to see you, Beverly, because you a day before you're gonna talk about AI, and you're gonna have a hands-on with Joseph, right? And a
Oh,
case
yes.
study.
Yeah.
So
Yes, we
So
are.
yeah, we're gonna bring Joseph on here in just a minute.
okay,
So
yeah. Yeah, so
Is there anything
Joseph,
else going on this week that we should know about?
so the business lab is going to be tomorrow, and we're getting ready for next week, right? With October 17, 16, 17, with Corona and Irvine, and then we're going to have on October 22 the Carlsbad.
Okay. And where should they go? Where should folks go to tap into all that?
To the Bright Business, to the brightbusiness.com, or the Bright Business Project. They can search online for the Bright Business Project, or bristis.com. Yep, that one.
Okay, so yeah, you see the ticker down below. That just go there and
Mhm.
you get the whole story. You get plugged
Yeah.
into it. Don't want to miss this. This is fantastic content. This is a growing and very organic and growing organization that's just getting. They're attracting some amazing people, including you. So be there. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Florin. Anything else before we bring? Hey, stay on. Let's bring Joseph on. See if I can get all four of us on here. You
Okay.
want? All right, cool. Hang on.
I also, Jim, just wanted to say it's because of Florin and his energy and the people he's attracting. It's incredible. I've been thinking about how to say that, and I'm working on that with you.
No, thank you. I think at some point, I don't know how to say it, the universe is going to bring all this together because things are happening.
Yes, they are.
It's,
Yes, they are.
it's just that powerful will. I think the manifestation of mind. I'm not that holistic person, but at some point, I think when you really want to get something, bring, in our case, a certain quality of people around you. Somehow things are coming together. I don't know how, but it's amazing. Thank you. So talking about the people, Joseph is one which are. I don't know. It's magic, right? To have Joseph around us and working
Yeah.
hard and to bring all these good people. Thank you, Joseph, for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Yeah. So Joseph, you've had some success with the Bright Business Project and the club, having business arrangements and setting up new accounts because of your relationships with some folks here. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, I have many to speak. Just among many, just few. I mentioned before, but Mike Miller has referred me to Silicon Valley president, and then I had a Zoom with the investor for a $300 million investor for a company in Korea that I represent. Actually, it's my partner, Rich Funding in Korea, has brought it a factory that wants to build a factory in Texas. That was the one that still continued to do so because the president of Silicon Valley is in Korea as we speak, because there is a big convention for Korean Chamber of Commerce. They had it a couple of years ago. I hear Florian, you were there before. Yeah.
Yep.
So many of us bringing overseas business owners to the U.S. That's one connection that I've been doing, and many other followed after that with Mike and other guests at the Bright Business Club. So come to these meetings in Corona, Carlsbad, and Irvine. I could tell you we have so many connections that we could make.
Yeah. And today, to take it one step further, today, just before, in fact, before noon, I was on a call with Romania with one of the a Scottish guy who's running in Transylvania, responsible, how can I say, social responsible business in the manufacturing elderflower juices and even honey for the royal house, something like this. And a wonderful person. And I hope we're going to be able to help him to connect with U.S. market. And I had you, Joseph, in mind.
Yes, we're doing a similar drink, aloe vera drink, already in Costco, and it's coming from Korea, and they wanted to build a manufacturing, so we could really help Romanian friends of yours to market in the United States.
Lois, thank you so much.
So Beverly, you're in the midst right now. This. I've been waiting for this for a week after I heard about it. It's like
Me
I
too.
want to know what it is that you and Joseph are cooking up in your case study. Can you share some of that? Is there anything that you can share?
Yes, there is. So Joseph and I met at Bright Business, and I was struck immediately by Joseph's expertise. I knew, because I know enough finance guys to know who was really good and maybe sometimes not so much. So I knew that Joseph really knew his stuff, but he was struggling with getting his story out. So he and I had some subsequent meetings, and I realized that he needed help getting his story out, communicating it, figuring out what that special spice or oil of running of infusing his marketing engine with.
So this is where the creativity comes in, right?
Yeah, this is where the
On
creativity
that
comes
art
in.
side. So Joseph, let me ask Joseph real quick. Can you explain what Beverly just said in your own words?
In my words, there's challenges. Every business is a challenge, right? Even me, I have challenges. So she was kind enough to sit in with me. She's very nice to talk to, and she's a lady that really understands the space and how to promote a business, and especially in the AI, how AI could help business to the next level. And as a what do I know, right? But I followed her and I followed her instruction. She asked me, what is my challenges today? So I gave a bullet pointer, right? And then she's gonna make good case study with this and make hopefully our presentation, Corona, will give a presentation what to expect.
So
So
what were your maybe top three that you mentioned in your bullet points?
right. I mentioned during my podcast with you a couple of weeks ago, it's
Mhm.
a disconnect, really disconnecting borrowers and, with the
So that's your
lenders.
solution.
Right,
That's your solution, right? You're
right, right.
connecting. What is it that you're having trouble doing to create that solution?
Is mainly marketing and mainly getting my stories out there. And that's where Beverly is helping me because what do I know about marketing? I just know how to fund and putting a connection together. If there's so many interesting projects out there, I make somehow God gave me a talent to put connections, between the investors and even purchaser M&A. I just talked this morning.
So mergers and
Another
acquisitions.
M&A.
Yeah.
Right. So it's but it's lacking in communication in a marketplace out there. Not many people know about me, and not many people know about how I do all these things. This is where Beverly comes in. She's gonna make the story and let the world know who I am, what I do. That's the
Okay.
beauty.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
So,
you.
and Beverly, how are you going to do that? And
This
how
is
are you going to use AI to help?
Yes, this is Joseph's masterpiece. And so, what my job has been in one of my other many lives, I was a broadcast journalist. So, I know how to ask questions. And so, what I am doing for Joseph is to help him bring out his journey. We all have a journey of how we got to where we are.
Hmm.
Joseph's family history. His parents emigrated from Korea. There's grit, I know, in his family. And so all of those past experiences inform who Joseph is as a person, his journey to becoming a banker, his journey to helping businesses and people connect with the right resources to help them paint their masterpiece. He's the connector, he's the facilitator. So, what I'm doing is helping Joseph tell his story and his role. And part of how I'm doing that is using AI tools like the biography in using his resume and all of his accomplishments and presenting them in such a way using AI tools such as writing a biography, rewriting, taking all of his decades of experience and editing it into a story that sells, into a story that's compelling for each part, his bio, his services, what are the things that he can do, because it's so dry. I find it tedious even for myself to say, well, what are your pain points? Well, okay, well, let me tell you. But if I can help Joseph how his journey to solving a customer's pain point, that's important. That's where the prospect or the customer is going to go, oh, that's how Joseph helped this guy. Oh, he can do that for me, or he can help me. Those things are really important. So if we get those core messaging correct, the other thing is, once all of us know our individual story, and in common language, it's known as the hero's journey. We are all heroes in our life journey. So once Joseph is really comfortable in his own hero's journey, he's going to be confident sharing his story, and everything's just going to come out of him with a level of confidence and ease. And that's really what I want to get Joseph to, and that's why we're working together. And as I told him, I said, people are going to know who you are and something about you before you even open your mouth, because it will be his story. And as he tells the story, people will understand it even more in a way that is relatable to them.
Right. So you're creating trust and authority with that.
Yes. And in a way, let me emphasize, AI is a tool of humans, and like humans, we have good actors and bad actors. And so, in the words of one of my mentors, I look at AI and the potential as 80% good. I'm an inherent optimist. It's who I am. And 20% something bad could happen. So that's another core piece of my values, is using AI in an ethical manner. And I wouldn't work with somebody whom I didn't trust. And I know, because Joseph is trustworthy, I'm confident in helping him gain trust quickly.
Excellent. Excellent. Tell me, what both of you, Joseph and Beverly, you're both members of the Bright Business Club, correct?
Correct.
So,
Yes.
and founding members, I might add. So, thank you and congratulations. What, if anything, could you share with us about how the Bright Business Club has helped you in your journey so far, in terms of being a purpose driven entrepreneurs?
First thing, I met Beverly through Bright Business Club. If it wasn't for Beverly, I would not have alignment in how my story gets out there, because I'm old school, like dinosaur, right? I have no idea what to do with AI. And secondly, I met Florian and Jim, you all, because without a board of advisors, I would not know how to run my business. Even though I've been coaching and teaching about others about funding, that's different than operating. And that's why I like the mastermind. That's why I like to visit in person, picking brains. People go around, talk about their issues, their challenges, how to overcome it. I mean the tremendous uh, I cannot put it in words, but the so priceless of words that coming from you, Jim, and Florian, and everybody there is amazing, that I'm learning every time. So I'm so eager. And secondly, it gives me platform, because Florian somehow gave me the chance to run Irvine, and there's Dalima to run it with me. But having a platform like that to bring as many guests as I want, that was amazing. And Florian is giving me freedom to go out and bring, the high tech and med tech and whoever I want to bring to become our member. And then in turn, hopefully they get to know my story through Beverly. And hopefully, I'll engage more connectivity, because it's just mind-boggling how many connections we can make. But it starts from the platform of Bright Business Plan, and I so appreciate it that I'm involved here. I thank Florian for founder, finding this. And I mean, you're doing something great, Florian, whether you know or not, for community, and it's really helping. And personally,
Yeah, I agree.
that's my
Thank you.
take.
Me too.
Yeah,
No, thank you. Can I
Beverly,
say
go ahead,
something?
Lauren.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. First of all, for all this. Yesterday, I read an article. I think was a TEDx thing, and they were talking about the power of coaching. And I strongly I believe in that, but I even more believe in the power of cross coaching or cross mentoring, because we are not all of us are not that lucky to find the right mentor, the right coach, or we are not that rich to invest in a fancy coach. But I think in the true value of cross coaching, we support each other. You don't know how much value you're bringing to me and how much joy every time when I talk to you, Joseph, you're bringing to me to see we are on the same page. We are not sharing only my values, I'm sharing overall or all members' values. Even that talking now about what we're planning with Joseph for not is not me. So the idea is Joseph, right? So put the blame on him, but it's amazing. So he wants to have for December 12th. It's gonna be a Thursday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. A Christmas gala for the Bright Business members, and not only, and to kind of reward our members, especially people who brought value to our community, is amazing, and we're blessed to be together. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren.
They're 12th, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
December
yeah.
12th.
I send the email. I send the email, but from now on, I'm gonna be more consistent and more intentionally especially this event, because we need to build like a small committee for this event to see what we're gonna do. And Beverly, you might like to join the committee. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's good. Growing pains. That's good.
Yeah.
Beverly, how about you? What was your thoughts
Um,
on how the Bright Business Model and projects has helped you?
Honestly, I really love the collaboration aspect of it and just the level of expertise. And Jim, I will honestly tell you, I was very intimidated by you initially when I met
Really?
of all your accomplishments and
It's working.
and
I
just
know.
you're so knowledgeable about so many things. And I also the thing that really struck me about you was how observant you are and how you did not speak until you actually had something to say. And I'm normally like that myself. But in the culture that Florin has created in Bright Business, I feel very comfortable sharing my point of view. And I'll be honest with you, I detest Chamber of Commerce type stuff. I've never felt comfortable in those environments. And I was never good at a traditional corporate career. And so um, where we are in this moment and in this time for me is perfect. And so just meeting all of these different people that it's so much easier. I think of other things that I've been into, and it used to be old school. It was either articles, um, uh, mail, things, just snail mail. There was just never the degree of connection that one could have in a community. And I am so grateful to be able to find one that is local for me, because most of my friends whom I treasure don't live close by. So to be able to build on that community of both business and personal has been such a blessing to me, and the collaboration, and to be able to tap into that stream of expertise and information. And it's very the other thing is it's approachable. Nobody appears to be up in their ego, and I appreciate that, because that's how I am. I love to share knowledge. So that's what I would say.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's great. This is great observations from both you and Joseph. So I appreciate that. Well, let's see. Do you have any? We haven't really talked about how. Do you have any like specifics? Anything like really meaty that we could get into with your case study that you're working with Joseph on? Any details that you can share?
Primarily what I am doing is I'm using all of his bullet points, and I call noodling on them. And so I'm going to be using my AI tools of writing tools primarily to do a draft of a story. And then the other piece of it is
What are the
just,
writing tools you're using? Can you share any of that?
yeah, it's very simple. It's take my biography. I sort of come up with my own, honestly. There's a ton of tools out there, but I like to do various iterations. So my thing is I'm very specific. Write in story style the attached bio that is personal and approachable, and create a Word doc so that I can just edit it.
So
And
that's
then
a prompt.
pardon?
That
Yes,
would
that's
be an example of a prompt. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Are there any like AI tools that people could plug into, or you keep those close so you
No,
don't?
no, I don't have them right off the bat with me. The
Okay.
other thing that I forgot to mention that I'm going to be working with Joseph on, and that's a key piece, is finding your niche. So once we find that vein, if you will, of customers, we keep finding and veining and mining until that vein gets tapped out. And in the meantime, we're using our niche or developing our avatar for our niche that helps us find even more customers. So that's one of the things that I want to introduce. And then I also have just a short white paper on it that I'm going to share with the group. But that is where marketing is really going. And it's beyond just an avatar. Oh, Debbie is 34 and she's divorced and shops at Walmart. She has 2 kids. It's way, way, way beyond that. So this avatar that we're building, and this is all stuff that I have, is going beyond. You're going to have the ability to interact with that avatar, to talk to that avatar, to ask questions, to gain insights quickly. And the more that you interact with that avatar, the better you're going to be able to figure out quickly like what they're looking for. They may have needs that they don't even see themselves yet. So that's how I'm looking to do that, as well as with, and this is Jim, this is where I'm a little bit, because I'm so familiar with it now. I think of those things like bio or writing up a story, that I just have some key points that I don't even really remember at this point, because I'm on to my next thing, which is developing your niche and the avatar and how we're going to do that. So that's a really key piece of what I'm doing for not only Joseph. Joseph gets to me my wonderful, I love to say this. So Reid Hoffman, the guy who's like this founder of, early investor of LinkedIn, he goes, "Oh, I just tell people I have stuff in beta." So that's what I say. So I'm building with Joseph. Joseph's avatar is in beta right now, along with his
Okay.
material.
In development or in just like betas. That's a cool term because it's like
Love beta.
I don't have to share everything. Yeah. So and we got a nice comment from Paul, my buddy Paul Rangel. He says, "Hi Beverly, you're correct of Chamber of Commerce. It's not for everyone. For me, it's been the correct fit. What I love about this platform is that we can listen to different minds." Thanks, Jim. So yeah, thank you, Paul. Appreciate you, buddy.
Aw,
All
thank
right.
you.
Yeah, so fantastic. Any last thoughts? We're pushing up against an hour. Man, it goes so quick.
Oh my gosh. Again, the thing is, one, don't fear the Reaper that is AI. So don't fear the Reaper AI, to go off on a song. So don't fear AI. It's here to help you. It's a wonderful tool. It will infuse everything that we do. We've just been talking about it in business applications, but one can use an avatar for anything, personal life, helping you gain insights. I mean, that's one of the things, one of the beta platforms that I'm involved with is I'm actually building my own avatar so that I can be aware of my own biases. And those insights are going to help me connect with more people that would be my clients. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah. Whoa.
Will you share that with us?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you
Absolutely.
make me think. So now, when the event's gonna be in Corona, Jim, when the event is gonna be in Corona, if you can you can show on a screen, it's
Let's
people
see.
should join us.
Um,
You're gonna bring like a little giveaway for people, Beverly?
Sure, I can. The
Okay.
best thing, yes, I will have just a cheat sheet of some of the best AI tools that I've found, and a reminder: don't be afraid. It's most of it is good, and you just can't beat the human element.
Exactly, exactly. Creativity is probably going to be the last resort, last frontier for us.
It's important of all,
Yeah,
truly.
exactly. Love that. Wow. So I'm
so
super excited. It was more like a teaser for October.
Mhm.
So for what 17, I don't know exactly when. Jim's if you can help
16
us.
is the Corona and 17 is Irvine.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, excellent.
So
Yep.
16 in Corona.
Yes.
I'm gonna put this. So I'm super excited to see what's gonna happen. You see, in Irvine, we're gonna have two powerful workshops. I'm not saying Mike's is not gonna be strong, but you're gonna have Chun Lee, which is an AI authority in the field in building and in the back of the AI, right? And then we have Alice Shane, if I say right,
Yeah,
and
Shin. Mm.
yeah, she's an AI, but she's more in the entrepreneurial startup ecosystem. So she's gonna have another um, perspective. She's gonna add another perspective to the AI, and probably she's gonna talk about purpose as well. But what you and Joseph's gonna bring in Corona is like something hands-on. That's what something is
Very much
really
so. I'm excited. Now you guys
cool.
made me play my teaser, my niche thing. So
Woohoo! Let's put me on the list. I'm next in line.
okay.
No, I'm not listening to you right now. I'm thinking about the book, The Bright Business Operating System, the big book. I really want to talk with you to see how we can update that, and even I want to take it to be more intentional about this, and that really we should talk.
Okay. Excellent.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Jim.
thank you, Beverly. That's great. So here we go. We got October 16th.
Hmm.
This is the Bright Business Club, uh, Power of Purpose and AI in Business. And Beverly and Joseph are going to be speaking there, talking about their case study. So you can go to LinkedIn and go to the Corona Business Club. Let's see if I can put that up. Um, Hang on one second.
Yeah, just go and search and look for the Corona Bright Business Club, or under our page, the Bright Business page is gonna be there. Hmm. Yeah, and not to forget about Brian. So Brian is gonna open the meeting. Okay, thank you. Brian is gonna open the meeting on 16 with his business. Thank you.
And then we have the 17th.
It's a little early. It starts at 8:30, but we get to network a little bit more afterwards. So I like to start it early, 8:30. Actually, to your 10:30 a.m., not 9:30 p.m. That's too long.
Oh,
8:30 p.m.
Oh, is it-
8:30. Yeah, 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. It's in Microsoft Drive. It's free parking, so you could just park. It's the
oh,
second
great.
story at ACT co-working space on 200 Suite 200. So it's just
Excellent.
nearby MacArthur Airport, across from it. So please come to Irvine.
Oh yeah, I think in fact for the Irvine, we might have some seats, we might not. It's gonna be very. It's already kind of
Yeah,
full.
it's gonna be full and overflow, so the ladies get to sit and the other guys has to stand. Sorry, but we just don't have enough seats. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's a
but
wonderful
please come.
problem.
Yeah, it's really popular.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay. And then we have, let's see, well, there's one more coming up.
Carlsbad, but Carlsbad is not here. I think our Senami, she created the event. So the Carlsbad is going to be on October 2022.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll catch that one next week on the show.
Yeah.
So, all right. Excellent. Let's see. We'll go back here, get everybody in, and then hide that. And yeah. So, last thoughts, Florin. Want to wrap us up?
No, thank you. I'm very pleased the quality of our members and the quality of the show. And looks like we're growing. We're
We are.
good. What you say?
We are.
Yeah. And we start all this with Jim a while ago. We're just brainstorming, having a cup of tea here in Temecula Valley, and he came with this idea. I thought, I don't know, it's gonna work, it's not gonna work, but like you're saying, Beverly. For me, Jim is an old friend now, and I always listen to him. He's wise, and no, thank you. And I
Yeah.
said,
Stop.
if I say if you believe in this, if you think it's gonna be good, let's do it. And I'm so proud to be here today. And it's just
Likewise, you're doing an awesome job. So, yeah, Bright Business Project. We do this show once a week. We start at noon, and who knows how long we're going to go. So it's always fun. It's always a lot of really great conversation. We talk about purpose and life and anything's game. So it's always, and we'd love to have you join us. We'd love to have you participate. We'd put your comments up. So yeah, come on along with us and enjoy this journey. And we'll see you all again next week at noon. And
Great.
we'll have a guest to watch on YouTube, and we're also in LinkedIn, and that list is growing. So stay tuned and watch for us, and we'll keep you posted. And yeah, we'll see you next week. You guys hang on a sec. I'm gonna
Guys.
let
Thank you, guys. Thank you.